All right. Um, the police don't follow protocol. They turn off the cameras and do what they want. So I'm going to tell you a story from the night before last. Night before last, I broke a bunch of windows in my apartment. I'm proud of it. I am proud of every single crime that I have committed to defend myself and my loved ones. Do you know why? Because before I committed any of those crimes, I repeatedly went to the police to get help. They denied me that help over and over. For every instance where I screamed at a cop, there were at least 20 to 30 instances where I tried to talk to them about what was going on. The problem is that many of my predators in this are police officers. Now, instead of being able to show how the police helped my predators, like the Bollingers, Ken and Leah Plunkett, and many others, instead of being allowed to show that, I'm not allowed to do any of that. I can't turn in my predators because the police were involved, and I have to turn in the police too. But I have to turn in the police to a different agency. Meanwhile, I call those different agencies and they tell me shit like, well, you have to call that department. I did call that department. They won't investigate. And that's what all of this is about, going out of their way to harm me every day until I fucking kill myself. Go out of their way every single day to ignore the shit that I have to go through because these people didn't do their fucking jobs. I went up to low income, got myself some paperwork that was on my door. I read that paperwork. I actually recorded the video because I don't have internet access up there. And I'm going to post that video after I get done with this. The fact is that because of the term mentally ill, I am victimized and there's nothing I can do about it. Someone else has to speak up. Not speak to me, speak to the fucking courts. But you listen to the conversation with Brandon Ratner, right? You listen to the conversation with Cara Mia, aka Cara Rogers, on this very YouTube, right? How about the ones with Miss Peaches? It's pretty obvious that no matter what, the cops are going to look away. They have to. If I am allowed just one court date where I am allowed to show evidence, a lot of fucking people are going to be in a lot of fucking trouble, including Sheriff Scott DaCosta and Cindy Taylor. There's a woman named Amy up there. She's one of my witnesses. She moved out 2 days ago, I think. Moved out on Tuesday. She was having problems with Cindy too. Cindy of Chapel Housing Authority is abusing her authority. And in doing so, she is harming the most abused people in the country. I mean, these people in low income, a lot of them are called mentally ill too. Nobody's going to fucking listen to them. But then again, what's the difference between all of these people who were called mentally ill and myself? All of them had help. None of them were pegged as super psycho serial killer rapists and never allowed to show evidence. None of them have gone through anything even close to this fucked up. They want to tell me about a situation that they want to compare with mine. Oh, I got hundreds of those kind of situations before Natalie died. It's not the same. So, after I broke those windows last night, or night before last, I walked down to Main Street. I knew that people were going to call 911. I also know if you guys have paid any goddamn attention whatsoever, one of the very first videos on here. Holy fuck. Almost 3 years of posting videos on this here YouTube. When I needed help, people who promised to help me did some really fucked up shit. And when I spoke up about it, they and their families and friends ganged up on me. I shouldn't have had to go to YouTube, but when I went to the police, what did they do? They blew me off until Natalie was fucking dead. They repeatedly denied me all of my human rights because, well, if you were called mentally ill, you were not considered a human being, obviously. You are not entitled to the rights of a human being. You are not entitled to the Constitution. You are not entitled to jack shit except abuse. Four years of abuse over Natalie Bollinger. 4 years of abuse over Natalie Bollinger. 4 years. Four. Four of them. The number 4. 4 years of abuse. 4 years of being neglected by the police or assaulted by the police to hide the crimes that they committed. I need someone to help me. Not one person has bothered to help me to go through all of that evidence and send it where it needs to go. And without somebody else helping me, first of all, I don't have the technological understanding to be able to do these things. I have been trying. If there is nothing else that I had proof of, I have lots of proof that I have been trying. When you are called mentally ill, it does not matter how goddamn hard you are trying. Nobody gives a shit. So when I went down there was a guy named Richard. He came over and spoke to me about, well, somebody let him know about one of my YouTube videos or one of my posts. And there's a lady named Nancy who was there as well. And I spoke to them about the situation before the cops even got there. I had already told Richard and Nancy the truth. I didn't hide any of it. Just like with many others. Hell, I got evidence here that also proves that I let Miss Peaches know what I had done when I lit that vehicle on fire and threatened to kill the president. I didn't have any fucking options other than that to end the fucking abuse. Goddamn right, I'm still speaking out. They're going to have to fucking kill me to shut me up. Kenneth Zarecki should not have been fucking a 14-year-old girl. And he sure as hell shouldn't have threatened anybody's life over it. The police have gone out of their way, every step of the way, no matter what, to ignore the crimes against me and to do everything in their power, and it is quite substantial. They have done everything in their power to tag me as mentally ill, crazy, schizophrenic, whatever it takes to hide the crimes they committed. BLM ain't got shit on me. All of the stuff that they talk about, it's only wrong if you do it to black people. If you do it to white people, it's okay. That's how all of you are with the term mentally ill. If a woman is raped and she tries to turn in her rapist, and she's been tagged as bipolar, her rapist gets to walk. That's just as easy as it is. Unless someone goes in with her. And even then, they're going to, instead of looking at the facts of the situation, they're going to try to twist it around to say that she must have wanted it, needed it, deserved it, or hallucinated it because she's bipolar. Bipolar is not the same thing as schizophrenia. When Scott DaCosta and his deputies, who I had been trying to turn in, instead had me committed to Scott's Bluff, they did so with the intent of discrediting me. They asked the hospital to diagnose me as bipolar. My predators got to do that. Now, last night, when I had to talk to the police, at least Richard was there, or Rich, and Nancy. Rich can verify that the police officer never at any point in time told me that I couldn't go up to my place. The officer told him, but didn't tell me. Is that officer's body camera on? Because if it is, it needs to be requisitioned and put in the courts. All of the things that the police have done to cover up their crimes need to be in court. And all of these people who have verified that I am not schizophrenic need to be allowed to speak. Because all of this is based off of, well, druggies lying. Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, Maddie Boa. If I have to break the law to defend myself because of the term mentally ill, then something is fucking wrong. But y'all aren't speaking out about my situation, are you? I'm not black enough. I'm not female enough. I don't fit your criteria for victim. I don't look like Captain America. Y'all remember that movie Last Action Hero? Yeah, I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger, am I? No, I look a lot more like the dude who's the serial axe killer, don't I? I do. But just because I look like a Hollywood villain doesn't mean that I am a Hollywood villain. I'm a goddamn human being. Well, not to you guys. I'm going to end this stream. I just want to make sure that I note the fact that I did everything that I could to try to get help before I broke the law. The police broke the law repeatedly and got away with it by calling me mentally ill. Natalie Bollinger and her cronies destroyed my entire life and got away with it by calling me mentally ill, by calling me a stalker. Here's how rumors get out of hand. Natalie Bollinger lied and said that I stalked her. And really, it could have been anybody in that household back in 2016. Then, Alicia Bollinger calls up Maddie Boa to tell Maddie Boa that I threatened her family. That's another lie. And I can prove that as well. Maddie Boa then proceeded to run around Boulder, Colorado, telling everybody that, well, to begin with, that I had stalked some little girl. Then it warped into much worse. I got people, I want to say it was January or so. It might have been still November or December when people in Boulder, Colorado were calling me a child molester and a rapist, pushed me around and shoved me around and telling me I got to get the fuck out of there. Natalie didn't care though. Her drugs were what's important. Every time Ted Bollinger does something fucked up with Alicia, I got to deal with people threatening my life and saying, hey, where is she? What'd you do to her? I'll tell you exactly what I did to her. I protected her just like I protected everybody else on Pearl Street as best that I could. Whether they were children or adults, it didn't matter. I tried to run off the children for a reason. Them kids didn't fucking belong there. Natalie and Alicia should not have been there at 13 and 14 years of age selling drugs. Of course, I didn't even learn their names until they were 18. I didn't hang out with them till they were 18. Ugh. Now, the thing with Nancy and Rich, another thing they can verify is that I was trying to tell the officer what was going on. He was only interested in the event up at the apartment, not why it happened or what was going on that led to it. Why is that? Because it's his officer's fault and his fault as well. I don't have the option of going to the fucking cops because the cops in this town are some of my predators. I have to do illegal shit to get the cops to do something. Every single time that I broke the law, it was after a long series of trying to get the fucking cops to do their goddamn jobs. Now, that officer wanted to push the, you're not going to hurt yourself or anyone else. I just need to make sure you're not going to hurt yourself or anyone else. Bitch, shut the fuck up, you fucking piece of shit. No, you're not. You're wanting me to admit that I want my life to end because of all of the abuse that I've endured so that you can lock me up and have me fucking injected again. Because every time that I get injected with those fucking drugs, you get to say, see, he was out of control. No, bitch, you're out of control. You need to be fucking stopped. Now, this officer came from Colorado. Obviously, he's a predator. There is no such thing as a non-predatory cop in the state of Colorado. Matter of fact, there's no such thing as a non-predatory cop anywhere in the United States when you're homeless. Even the best cop you know will yank a fucking homeless person off of a park bench for using a fucking blanket, you piece of shit. That officer wasn't interested in anything I had to say. All he was interested in was things that he could use to harm me. Well, fuck you, piggy. You better have had your goddamn camera on, because what you did with Rich is against the law. Did you know that? You fucking porker.